in all the programs we wrote till now, we have designed our programs around functions. In other words, blocks of statements which manipulate data. This is called the procedure-oriented way of programming. There is another way of organizing your program, which is to combine data and functionality and wrap it inside something called an object. This is called the object-oriented programming paradigm. Most of the time, you can use procedural programming, but when writing large programs or have a problem that is better suited to this method, you can use object-oriented programming techniques. So the only difference between Python and Java and other languages is that Python doesn't require object-oriented programming, unlike other languages such as Java or C# or C++. So these languages require you to use classes in order to create your own code, but in Python you can just start coding without actually creating a class. But if you need it, then you could do that as well. Classes and objects are two main aspects of object-oriented programming. A class creates a new type where objects are instances of the classes. An analogy is that you can have variables of type int, integer for example, which translates to saying that variables that store integers are variables which are instances, objects of int classes. For example, here we have, as you can see, a class puppy called puppy. This is the syntax how to create a class. It is written before, just like function, we write def, but in case of classes, we have to write class. And then comes the name of the class, and then the input. In this case, this is an object. We're saying that puppy is an object, then we say it's an object. And then 2 points. And then this is a function that we will be talking about later. So just like functions, classes have methods. So these, consider them as methods that I will talk about init a little bit later, and methods in more details a little bit later. So basically what we did here, we created a class called puppy with two methods, init and bark. When we create the puppy, for example puppy1, a variable with the class puppy, max and brown, basically what we're doing, we're initializing, and that's where init come from. So what we're doing here, basically we're just initializing the class puppy with the name max and the color brown. And that's why we have this. I will also talk about later about self and what it means. So how do we create a class for objects? Now, as I said, I showed you the syntax how to do that, but I haven't talked about it in details. But in order to do this, let's move on to the next slide and show you the examples. That's a better way to actually do that. So here we have our first example of this last part. We have you can find it on the example folder. So just go to your example folder that we discussed about in the beginning, example 17, and open. So here we have the same example we had before. As you can see here, it's a puppy class plus puppy. We create an instance of puppy1 and an instance of puppy2. So basically we're calling it twice. Now let's run this to see how it goes. Okay, so as you can see, the method park here is called with puppy1, and then the method puppy2 is called with the same method. So basically what we're doing, we're creating puppy1 with these two values, max and brown, and then we're creating another puppy2 with the value Robbie and black. So those basically are names. And